over the past couple of years, we have seen a holiday rally. People like to call it the Santa rally. And over 2023 and 2024, altcoins performed their absolute best, closing the year near Christmas time. So what we're going to talk about today is, are we going to see a similar pattern, especially because of the fact that we had the government shutdown? Are things just simply delayed this time around? And could we maybe see, after this absolutely catastrophic dip in the market that has driven sentiment almost near cycle lows at this point in time as far as the fear and greed index, are we going to see a major recovery heading into the end of the year? We're going to talk about that and more in this video. So without further ado, let's jump into it. And before we get started, as always, and I'll keep this one quick as obviously people are now starting to prepare for the holiday season for Thanksgiving, be sure to drop down below, hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel for more every single day here on In the Game. We have you covered with everything you need to have an edge in the crypto markets. And of course, a big shout out to all of our sponsors here on In the Game. You can check all of them out in the description down below. Today, I want to give a big shout out to the #1 AI generative project on the Binance Smart Chain, and that is 𝗓𝗄𝗅. They've been participating in all the big Binance events, getting official push from the Binance Smart Chain. You can literally jump in here, create your own worlds, games, world assets, etc., all utilizing AI and the 𝗓𝗄𝗅 token. So this is definitely, I mean, in my opinion, I think AI is going to take over everything, including gaming, and which is what 𝗓𝗓𝗅 is leaning into here. So if you haven't already, check out 𝗓𝗓𝗅 down below in the description. Now, like I said, we're going to keep this one a little bit quick, but I do just want to go into the historics. And now with this dip that we have seen over the last month or so at this point in time, is it time for a little bit of a recovery? And could we also see a little bit of a Santa rally, quote unquote, as we have seen in the past couple of years? And what do I mean by that? Let's just go pull up an altcoin chart here. I will test out something that's been around for a few years, obviously. Solana almost feels like a little bit of cheating because they had their big run up into December 2023. And then also, of course, the meme cycle last year. So I'm going to exclude Solana from this, but I'll pull up another chart here. Let's go with 𝗵𝗡𝗋, gaming chain, L2 style play. You can see here at the back half of 2023, from October all the way up through December, and even just December alone, it went from $1.27 all the way up to $2.50. And then on top of that, last December in 2024, you could see this token climbed from $1.30 up to $2.20. And if we look at the historical returns over the last 2 years, Q4 was massively green. Now, I'm not saying we're going to end up, Q4 for Ethereum right now is down 30%. Q4 for Bitcoin is down 23%. But the last two years in Q4, it has been a very good quarter. Now, kind of wonder, is this going to maybe close a little bit of a gap? We see a 23% decline on Bitcoin this quarter and 29% on Ethereum. I think it could be a good time to at least shorten that number. I'm not saying we're going to make up the whole thing, but even if we make up 10-15% of that in the month of December, it could be a very fruitful Santa rally for those who are still bullish. And as we see here, alts do this. They tend to do this all the time. A little bit of a red candle into alt season, more red candles into DeFi season. 2021 alt season also had a little bit of promise here and then back down. We see a big climb. Could we see the same thing happen? Obviously, on the channel, we say a lot, history repeats, but history rhymes, but not always just, historically repeats itself verbatim. So we have to kind of take that with a grain of salt. But given how bad Q4 has been so far, I think we could definitely close this number just a little bit and potentially see an end of the year rally. And as we see here from Elio, if you think that this is the start of the bear market, if you think this is the start of the bear, sell the next rally. If you think liquidity cycles are more important, the real bull has yet to begin. The risk profile is the same as it's always been. So a lot of people are treating this market like it is doom, but I do think it's a very good opportunity. And as Brian Jung points out here, risk reward is great at these levels, but you can only be really DCAing into the top protocols. I think if you're spreading your bullets into low market caps or meme coins right now, I think that strategy is not what you should be deploying right now. If you want to just take a look, it's the lowest levels we've seen since April. And April is when we finally did start to see a little bit of a market turnaround after the Trump token launch and Trump inauguration. So I do absolutely agree with this, that the risk reward here is almost too good to pass up. But as mentioned, I just wouldn't be spreading bullets into so many different things. When you're looking across the board, I want to find something that's showing strength. Like, for example, Avalanche is getting beaten down to shreds. 𝗬's getting beaten into shreds. That's not one, honestly, it's showing so much weakness in this market. I'm not even like leaping to DCA these at this point in time. I want to do the strength plays because I think Hyperliquid can go back above 40 in an instant if this market flips. I could probably see 𝗏𝗔𝗄𝗃 back above 420 or so if we also see a market flip to the bullish side. So those types of tokens are the ones that I would be looking at. And for other reasons too, you know, we do see people buying big bags of hype just a couple of days ago, and Hyperliquid buybacks just continue to roll in. So that's something I love. They make money and they put it right back into the chart. And as far as TAO, like I mentioned, their halving is in 15 days. So the best case scenario here would be for a market turnaround right before this halving event. So we could see a buy the rumor, sell the news, and it was getting priced in earlier, like last month, whenever we saw 𝗏𝗔𝗄𝗃 above that $500 level. But we're almost down 40% from those levels. If we look at the monthly chart, we got up to about $530 here. Now we're at 305, 15 days from the 𝗏𝗔𝗄𝗃 TAO halving. I think that this is a pretty good buy level for this token, given the fact that if we do start to see an end of the year Santa rally like we saw over the last 2 years, then this could be a prime opportunity to get in on a position or a long here before the 𝗏𝗔𝗄𝗃 halving. So I'm definitely looking at this as a catalyst. It might be a take profit zone if we do see a market run up. If the market continues to crumble, the halving, buy the rumor, sell the news doesn't really matter at all. So that is something I will be watching myself. If I wanted to get a little more risky down the risk curve, I'd probably be looking at mid caps, maybe like an 𝗏𝗟, or if you wanted to go into the smaller cap level, I would probably be looking at something like XBorg. We had their founder on the show last week, and just the things that they're doing are beyond bullish. So that is one that I would absolutely be looking at from a low cap perspective if you're willing to take risk in this market. Otherwise, I would probably keep it with majors. Like, there's no reason not to just top up your bags on something like Solana, Hyperliquid, etc. TAO, Aster, revenue generating buyback platform. Pretty straightforward. In this market, I'm not going to overcomplicate it, and I'm not going to come on here and tell you guys to buy different tokens every day, right? So that's not the climate we're in. I just want my highest conviction levels, okay? We initially started buying Hyperliquid in the 20s. It's at 33. That's a good enough level for me to justify topping up that bag, considering it was at $58 just a couple of months ago. Same thing with something like 𝗏𝗔𝗄𝗃, $530 just a couple of weeks ago at this point in time. So there are just some simple strength plays out there that I want to add. And if we do see a springboard in the month of December, we could take some riskier trades. We could get into a low market cap and try to swing it for a few X's before the end of the year. But right now, that's not where I'm looking as far as placing my money. You want to be strategic with where you're putting your money right now, and then you can take risks later with some of the gains if you have that risk appetite. So that's what I'm looking at right now. I would not be surprised to see an end of the year rally. I'm seeing some analysts out there, really good traders, etc., saying that they would not be surprised to see Bitcoin sitting back above 100K by December 31st, 2025, which, you know, obviously that leaves us a 36-day time window for that to happen. That would be very bullish for certain altcoins in the market if we could just see a simple Bitcoin turnaround. And I want to talk about the monad chart. So obviously, and I've seen some people in the comments of the last video, you guys clearly did not watch the video because well, a lot of people did, and you have intelligent comments, but there are a lot of people, and I mentioned how long-term I will be watching on-chain analytics for Monad, which right now are still absolutely peaking. Let's just refresh this. I don't know why it's showing data. There we go. Absolutely peaking. Like it's up 100% on-chain over the last 24 hours. So why would I be shorting it right now? And I mentioned that. It's about how long-term I will be looking for peaks in the on-chain metrics, and I will be looking to enter a short. And I made it very clear I am not in a short position yet. Like I said that multiple times in the video. But the 𝗔𝗦𝗧𝗏 maxis, the monad people are, in my comment section saying, great short. I didn't open a short. And I mentioned I'm waiting to open a short based on on-chain metrics because mainnet just went live yesterday. It has too much hype to get in on a short. So please listen to the videos. If you're going to come to the comment section, that would be fantastic if you actually watch and have some sort of IQ level enough to actually listen and be like, oh, he didn't take a short. So, but I'm looking to watch this diligently. I think that Coinbase is absolutely pumping money into this right now. And I wouldn't even say that's not even far-fetched. Let's just go look. I think Monad's on my watch list. Monad. There we are. So right now, I mean, this thing's absolutely pumping, but it's Coinbase's first ever ICO. Of course, they're going to make this thing absolutely rip up front and get all their investors into profit because that sets up success for future ICOs and demand for future ICOs on the Coinbase platform. Now, I do agree with what Whale Swoosh says here is that there's probably a very good chance that these ICO plays are going to become so diluted, just like a early round or a group investment round that you might have been in on or a KOL round. There's going to be big wins early on. But as this gets diluted, the wins shrink and they honestly become losses. So that's absolutely something I would expect as well, given the fact that Monad is the very first ICO on Coinbase. Until they announce another one, this thing could perform very well. So I'm keeping my eyes on this, and I have not opened a short. For all you people in the comment section from last video, I am watching this for a longer term play because I just don't see where Monad is going to fit into the longer term blockchain use case ecosystem. Okay, that is my thesis. I'm happy to be wrong. And if the on-chain metrics never peak out, then I won't enter a short. So I just wanted to clear the air there. We are not short yet. I have $0. I sold my airdrop on Monad. Okay, we had a position. I sold it. I have not entered a short. I'm not long. I'm very neutral on this currently. And like I said, if the metrics never present itself for a short, we won't enter a short. But for me, just looking at other historics as far as new chain launches, I will be watching the on-chain data closely for a potential short in the future. And of course, a quick update as well. Prediction markets. Last week on the show, you guys really, it was one of the lower viewed shows that we had in quite some time, but we went 3-0. All of our picks that we gave in that video won. And if we look here, we are doing a $250 to 10K challenge. So I deposited, when I started on 𝗓𝗏, just because it was so new and testing out mentions and culture markets and entertainment, etc. I only deposited $250, and we are up to 1537 in profit. Okay, and I am dedicated to completing the 250 to 10,000 profit challenge. So we are 15% of the way there. I think after my stuff yesterday, we're 16% of the way there, and we will be doing weekly streams, live streams on prediction markets moving forward. You guys can ask questions, get involved. I'll take a look at markets that you guys like. I'll give my picks, etc. So it's going to be a really fun month of December. We have some big partners on this, and it's going to be a ton of fun giving out winners and completing this challenge. I will make this happen, the 250 to 10K. We're 15% of the way there. And I think we'll close this gap rather quickly as the bankroll starts to grow and just show you guys that you can make something out of what feels like nothing. Like when you deposit 250, that's really nothing in the crypto grand scheme of things, but you can easily flip it into profit with smart and predictable edge trades that you have an edge in the market. So that's it, guys. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Santa rally. If it doesn't happen, I'm still happy to DCA these levels, but given where we are now, I think we probably do see an end of the year push on crypto and maybe even see Bitcoin sitting above 100K by December 31st. So guys, like the video down below, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. And of course, for those who celebrate, happy Thanksgiving. I'll see you guys on the next one. As always, play well, my friends, trade responsibly, and stay bullish, my friends.